Hello, greetings. My name's Drew, you're you, and you have come here today either by accident or on purpose to listen to me and see me talk about new products that we are carrying here now at Fahrney'sPens.com. And we've got a bunch, and we've got more than it seems here because a lot of these come in a bunch of different varieties. I'm not going to show you every variety of every new collection, but I'm going to show you enough for you to get the gist of it. So let's go. We're going to start with Montblanc. We're going to do a lot from that brand today, which is momentous in a way, for me at least, because I've not really covered this brand a lot on video. I'm learning about it every day, and it's an experience. It really is, and I'm doing my best to continue to educate myself, but all of these that we're going to be looking at here today are my first impressions as well, so I'm not going to give you the full-on tour of every bit of detail, but we are going to glance at them, get a first impression for both me and you probably, and enough that you can at least decide whether or not you're curious to learn more. So the first pen we have here is let's move a lens cap out of the way, shall we? So Montblanc came out with a Burgundy collection for their Meisterstuck series, and we're going to look at one today. This is the 163 or the Classique model, and it is currently the only one I could get my hands on because these are moving quickly, and I mean quickly. So they are a dark red, a beautiful burgundy. As you can see here, they're a very, very lovely shade. And while we may not have a lot of these right now, we are gonna get more. And if you want to, you can still place an order for it and we'll ship it to you immediately when it arrives. We don't charge your card until it ships, so you don't need to worry about that. All right, so the 163 is a rollerball. I have it here. The Diplomat, the 149, will be available as a fountain pen at $1,245. The Legrand, also known as the 146 fountain pen, is at $955. The Classique fountain pen is at $840. The Legrand rollerball is $690. The Classique rollerball, is which we have here, is $640. There is a mid-size ballpoint also available at $565. And finally, the Classique, also known as the 164 ballpoint, at $545. Also available from Montblanc is the new Starwalker collection. And this is going to be in a color that they are calling Polargreen, one word, and that is right here. So here we've got the fountain pen in resin. They've got a couple different fountain pens. This one will be resin at both the barrel and the cap. So that's one of the main differentiators in the different models is sometimes the cap is not resin, it'll be metal. And the Starwalker is unique because of this topper here. With the Polargreen, this topper actually glows in the dark. I'm not going to be able to demonstrate that to you right now because it was in the box and it's not quite ready to showcase that aspect for you. And the green, the Polargreen, is a beautiful teal as well. It's a really striking color. I really enjoy it. So you've got a beautiful clip here that goes a little bit past the cap. And the same pattern can be found on both the cap and the barrel. And it threads to post as well as threads to cap. In the grip section, it's got a little bit of texture to it. And the trademark Starwalker nib there. And this one is a 14 karat gold nib. It is a cartridge converter pen, as we see here. So in addition to the resin fountain pen, which we have here, which is going to be for $735, we will also have the Goethe fountain pen for $935, the metal version for $1,270, and those are all 14 karat gold nibs. And then we've got the rollerball in metal, which, the interior is going to be metal. It's not like an all metal pen, but it's got some extra weight to it because it's around a metal barrel instead of a resin barrel. So that metal rollerball is going to be $990. The resin rollerball will be $595. The Goethe rollerball will be $735. The metal ballpoint is $840. The Goethe ballpoint is $630. And finally, the resin ballpoint is $510. This is what I was talking about when I said a lot of these products here today are having a lot of different varieties. Montblanc is definitely the party that is doing that the most here today. So finally, we will, well, let's just go ahead and just finish up Montblanc. We've got kind of 2 more things to do, 3 more Montblancs. Well, doesn't matter. Let's move on to Queen. So they have another great characters selection here, and this time they're celebrating, or in their words, doing an homage to the band Queen, which I think most of us are aware of. So right off the bat, we've got their famous logo here. This particular collection is celebrating their Greatest Hits 2 album. So I haven't seen this in person yet. I've seen images and it looks really cool. Let's take this out. And here we have the pen itself. You can immediately see a fist passionately clutching a microphone. And that is some serious Freddie Mercury iconography there. And then some various instruments across the bottom here. Get a closer look at those. Guitar neck, drums. And of course the clip is a microphone as well. Interesting. You see what that microphone has around the base? The microphone is clipped. Is this the first clip that has a clip? It might be. The first clip. The first clip on a clip. This is not the most important takeaway about this pen, but it just popped in there and now I'm entertained by it. And that's what these pens are here for, right? To entertain. Congratulations, Queen, you have entertained me. So beautiful presentation here. This right here is the fountain pen. We will take a look at that because it has a very lovely nib. Is that not among the most intricate nib designs that you have ever seen? Or like nib imprints, I guess I should say. That is something else. Gorgeous. And that's a 14 karat gold nib. This is a piston pen. So there is no sort of texture on the grip. It's perfectly smooth. And as I said, I'm still learning a bit about Montblanc, so I don't know exactly what this red dot is. Perhaps someone could tell me in the comments what the purpose of that is. And this pen will be available here in the fountain pen for $1,360. The rollerball version is $1,105. The ballpoint version is $1,040. There's also a notebook available for $100 and an ink available for $50. I would love it if you would tell me your favorite Queen song in the comments. Personally, Princes of the Universe. All right, now we're going to move on to another big collection that Montblanc has going on. That is the Writer's Edition. So this series celebrates writers. This time, they're celebrating this gentleman, Johann von Goethe. And he was a writer. Look at this. Looks like a book. Looks very much like a book, actually. Like, deceptively like a book. Let's open it up. And, oh, wow, this is a really cool presentation. You get a full instruction booklet here. Not instruction. I'm sure there's a massive amount of story. And I'm not going to get into the story aspect of Johann von Goethe because while I've read the description for the product and I can tell you he did write some things like Faust, I fear that I would come across as overly ignorant, not admittedly ignorant, I guess. I don't know if there's a difference there, but you know what I mean. We're going to look at the pen. And here it is. So you've got a lovely feather clip that you can see immediately, and then also immediately you can see that there is a textured barrel and cap. And I know I said I wasn't going to get too much into it, but I do know that this color and this texture was inspired by some notable wallpaper, from what I understand. You can also see that we've got a signature there. And again, definitely check out the history of this pen. It's too much for me to get into, but every little bit of this pen does have some notable inspiration attached to it. All right, so here I have the fountain pen, obviously. Let's take a look at the nib imprint here. It says Faust. The nib here is an 18-karat nib, and it is an internal piston. The fountain pen that you see here is going to be selling for $1,460. You can also get a rollerball for $1,200. A ballpoint is available at $1,140. There's a $90 notebook available, and then there's also a set of inks, 6 inks for $215, and we're going to take a look at that right now. So let me move Herr von Goethe here and check out this large box. I have not seen this yet, so wow, it is heavy. All right, so here's the set. You get 6 30 ml bottles of ink in amethyst purple, Egyptian blue, Modena red, manganese orange, golden yellow, and Irish green. And they are really in there. There we go. No labels on the outside. Just a little bit of protective stickiness. So nothing much to look at on the inks. I'm not going to open these up because I'm not going to mess with something that someone's going to buy. And then, of course, we've got some history here. That is the ink set. Like I mentioned, it is $215. We're going to set that monster aside and then get into some non-Montblanc pens. The first of which is this LAMY. So the LAMY CP1 has been around for quite a long time, always in black, or there was an expensive palladium one. Now, it's available in aquamarine, which is neat. And I haven't seen this one in person yet. The color looked cool. I'm usually a big fan of the CP1. I like how narrow it is. Okay, so already, this is interesting because there's a little bit of a, not texture, well, you know, a non-tactile texture, I'll say, in the paint itself. It almost looks like a little, not pearlescent, but a little antique-y, hammered. I don't know what the right word for that is, but it looks cool. You'll see that it's got the standard LAMY nib that you'll find on almost every other LAMY pen. And it is a cartridge converter pen, which is kind of astounding because the inside of this pen is so narrow. Cartridges and converters just barely fit in there. It's kind of a bit of an engineering feat. And the clip is interesting because I always find this clip a little reminiscent of the LAMY 2000 because it's a spring-loaded stainless steel clip. And yeah, that's the CP1, it's a cartridge converter, nothing too crazy. Steel nib, comes in all of the different modes. So the fountain pen is $60. There is also a ballpoint available for $48. There's a pencil available for $60, and then there is a roller ball available for $52. I think it's a fun pen. Don't judge a book by its cover. If you have an opportunity, get one in your hands and judge yourself, but I think it's fun. All right, now we're going to move on to Waterman, and this is another one, like those Montblanc series that we've been talking about, that has a bunch of different varieties too. So here, we are looking at the Expert, but you'll find that this, I'm not gonna slam this. This series is defined by the black and the gold trim. You'll see that up at the top, we've got a Waterman logo at the angled finial, and then we've got another matching Waterman logo up at the top of the clip. A nice gold-black trim ring situation going on at the bottom of the cap. Waterman Paris down there, and then France. So let's take a look at the pen. Here you have less metal going on, but you still have a nice unified black and gold motif. The nib itself here is a gold-plated steel nib. So that one is if you did want a gold nib, you're gonna have to go up to the Carène fountain pen, which is $585. This one that we have here is $292. And it is a cartridge converter pen. Whether or not the converter is there or is it hidden, we'll find out. Let's find out. Where are you? Oh. Oh, cartridge only. Does not come with a converter. How about that? Well, now we know. FYI, part of your purchasing decision needs to account for a converter if you are going to go the bottled ink route. Has a nice, snappy post to it. This is actually really comfortable posted. The Carène, like I mentioned, in fountain pen form, 18 karat nib for $585.60. The Carène in ballpoint is $390.40. What we have here, the Expert Deluxe fountain pen with a steel nib is $292. The Expert Rollerball is $256. The Expert Ballpoint is $223. And then down in the Hemisphere range, we've got a Hemisphere fountain pen also with a steel nib for $213. A Hemisphere Rollerball for $195. And finally, a Hemisphere Ballpoint for $176. All right, so that's the Opera Deluxe. We're going to finish things off with what may or may not be available when this video gets posted, but we have a Retro 51 popper that is going to become available by the time you see this. This is, you know what's funny about poppers? Do you think they call them poppers because of the, or do you think it's just because they show up and they're limited? Either works. Maybe it's both. Get out of here. All right, so this one is called Where's Yeti? And it's called that because you're supposed to find Yeti. This fellow is hiding somewhere amidst a winter wonderland full of funky activities and wild happenings. It's full of Easter eggs and little fun things to take note of and discover. So it's really an interesting piece to write with just because you get a lot to look at. It's not just one singular image or a pattern. While you're writing, you can easily get distracted by all of the many happenings that are going on in the pen. So it's just fun. It's a fun little whimsical Winterfest here. I think it's neat. I think it's a cool concept, and it won't be around for long. We didn't get very many, and it is quite seasonal, so hopefully if you find this super appealing, you can get your hands on one, because I don't know if you've ever looked at eBay prices for discontinued seasonal retros or not, but sometimes it's not the most uplifting of prices. So anyway, that is it. I don't have a ton of upcoming stuff to talk about right now. It is December, so I think folks might be pumping the brakes a little bit. Everybody wants to get their products out before the holiday season, so this might be the last big push, but I'm sure we'll have a ton coming up in the new year. As far as store updates go, I was there today. I didn't get to really peruse everything because there was a lot of people in there working. I didn't want to bug anybody, but progress is happening. They were installing all the lights today, and then flooring is going to be going in next week, and they're probably going to be painting next week as well. So progress is happening. I know I say that every time I do a video like this, but it's true, and it's nice to see because there was a while where progress didn't seem to be happening. So I'm happy. Thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me. Happy holidays. Thank you so very much. Keep being you. Bye-bye.